Have you ever felt an unspoken tension with someone close to you? Like something just feels off, but you can't quite put your finger on it? That subtle gut feeling, that quiet whisper of intuition, is often more accurate than we realize. Yes, we're about to dive deep into the hidden signs that someone in your life may secretly hold hate toward you, despite their outward friendliness. So make sure to stick until the end to protect your energy and surround yourself with real friends. You see, understanding human interactions is crucial for personal growth and emotional well-being. This discussion is not about fostering paranoia or making one suspicious of everyone, but about developing emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It is about recognizing when relationships nourish the soul and when they subtly drain energy. A person may continue maintaining a friendship or relationship that, on the surface, appears completely fine, filled with smiles, social media interactions, and occasional meetups. However, despite these outward signs of normalcy, something may feel off. Over time, a persistent feeling of unease may develop, a sense that something is not aligning. It might take years to fully realize what is happening beneath the polite conversations, a fundamental disconnect, a hidden undercurrent of resentment. Through years of personal experiences, conversations, and reflections, it becomes evident that genuine connections feel expansive. They allow for growth, authenticity, and mutual enrichment. In contrast, relationships tainted by unspoken negativity create constriction, leaving one feeling smaller, confused, and questioning their reality. Words can be misleading, but energy doesn't lie. A person might greet you with a smile and say they're happy to see you, but if their body language feels tense, their voice lacks warmth, or they seem emotionally distant, something is not right. This creates a disconnect known as cognitive dissonance, where what they say and what they express don't match. It's common to rationalize these moments and assume you're overthinking, but intuition often picks up on subtle shifts before the mind fully processes them. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you sense something is off despite someone's friendly words, trust that feeling. A genuine connection should feel comfortable and natural, not forced or uneasy. One of the biggest red flags is how someone talks about others when they are not present. If they constantly criticize or complain about their friends, colleagues, or even family members in private, it's a sign they likely do the same to you when you're not around. This type of behavior is especially concerning when you notice mutual acquaintances acting differently toward you. If people who were once friendly suddenly seem colder, more distant, or hesitant in conversations, there's a chance someone has been speaking negatively about you. Sometimes it's the small things that reveal the truth. Walking into a room and sensing an immediate shift in the atmosphere, noticing quick glances exchanged between others, or experiencing an unexplained tension in conversations can all be signs that someone has been influencing how others perceive you. A person who secretly harbors resentment toward you will often have a selective memory. They will vividly remember any mistakes or embarrassing moments from your past, but conveniently forget your achievements or positive contributions. This is not accidental. It reinforces their negative perception of you and justifies their feelings of resentment. For example, they might frequently bring up a single mistake you made months ago, disguising it as a joke, yet completely ignore the times you have helped them, supported them, or achieved something noteworthy. When someone repeatedly dismisses your successes while magnifying your failures, it says a lot about how they truly feel. Healthy relationships involve mutual recognition and appreciation. If someone can only recall the things you did wrong but never acknowledges what you did right, it's a sign they may secretly dislike you. Healthy relationships are built on a balance of giving and receiving. While that balance may not always be perfectly equal at every moment, it should naturally even out over time. However, when someone consistently takes more than they give, whether in time, emotional support, or resources, it suggests an underlying imbalance. This might manifest in subtle ways. They might always be available when they need something from you, but suddenly become unreachable when you need their help. They may gladly accept your kindness, but hesitate to return the favor. Conversations with them might also feel one-sided, where they expect you to listen to their problems but show little interest in your experiences. At first, these behaviors might seem like personality quirks, but when they become a pattern, they reveal deeper issues about their values and priorities. A person who genuinely cares about you will make an effort to be there for you, not just when it benefits them, but also when you need them the most. One of the most revealing signs of hidden resentment is how someone responds to your success. When you share good news, whether it's a promotion, a personal milestone, or an exciting new opportunity, a supportive friend or well-wisher will celebrate wholeheartedly. However, someone who harbors jealousy or resentment might react differently. Their congratulations might feel forced, or they might quickly follow up with a dismissive comment like, "That's great, but don't get your hopes up." They might abruptly change the subject, minimize your accomplishment, or shift the conversation to themselves. This reaction often stems from a subconscious sense of competition. Your success may feel like a personal threat to them, triggering discomfort they might not even recognize in themselves. If you frequently notice a lack of enthusiasm from someone when you share good news, or if they seem unable to be happy for you without making it about themselves, it's a strong sign of underlying negativity. Setting personal boundaries is an essential part of any healthy relationship. People who genuinely value and respect you will honor your boundaries without frustration or resentment. However, a person who secretly harbors negative feelings toward you may react differently. They might guilt trip you, become passive-aggressive, or repeatedly ignore your limits. For example, if you have clearly communicated that you need personal time in the evenings, a respectful friend would understand and respect that. But someone with hidden animosity might repeatedly push those boundaries, justifying their actions by saying, "I know you said you're busy, but I figured it would be different for me." By framing their boundary violations as signs of closeness or affection, they make it difficult for you to enforce limits without feeling ungrateful or unkind. This behavior is manipulative, as it places their desires above your needs and makes you question whether you are being too rigid. However, true respect means honoring a person's boundaries, even when it's inconvenient. If you believe real connections are built on respect, comment boundaries below. Anyways, coming back, human relationships are intricate, shaped by emotions, experiences, and unspoken understandings. They are both the source of life's greatest joys and its deepest frustrations. At their best, they bring warmth, support, and a sense of belonging. At their worst, they create confusion, exhaustion, and a lingering feeling that something isn't quite right. The way people connect with each other is never just about words. It's about actions, energy, and the silent agreements that form over time. Respect is at the heart of any real connection. It is not something that should be begged for or constantly explained. When people value one another, they naturally honor each other's space, time, and feelings. There is no need for endless justifications or repeated conversations about the same boundaries. The right people understand without resistance. The wrong ones push back, test limits, and find ways to make someone feel unreasonable for simply wanting to be treated with basic consideration. True respect is effortless. It is reflected in the way someone listens when another speaks, in how they acknowledge emotions without dismissing them, and in how they never make another person feel guilty for simply existing as they are. It is not about grand gestures or spoken promises. It is seen in the quiet, consistent ways a person treats another over time. When respect is present, there is ease in communication, trust in each interaction, and no underlying tension caused by someone disregarding personal needs. Also, boundaries are a natural extension of self-respect, and they serve as a filter, separating those who genuinely value a relationship from those who only seek to take advantage of it. A person who truly respects another will never see their boundaries as an inconvenience. They will not question them, push against them, or try to make the other person feel guilty for having them. Instead, they will honor them, understanding that a healthy relationship is not about one person constantly sacrificing their comfort for the sake of another. The people who react negatively to boundaries often do so because they benefited from the lack of them. They may disguise their discomfort as affection, claiming that closeness means not needing limits. But true closeness is not about overstepping. It is about knowing where the lines are and choosing to respect them without hesitation. The right people will never make someone feel guilty for saying no, needing space, or prioritizing their own well-being. Trust is another foundation of meaningful relationships. It is built not just through grand gestures, but in small moments. The way someone listens, the way they hold another person's words with care, the way they make it clear that what is shared in confidence will remain protected. A true connection allows people to be open without fear. But when trust is broken, even in subtle ways, something shifts. It may not always be dramatic. Sometimes it happens quietly, through a joke that cuts too deep, a personal detail shared with the wrong person, or a dismissive response when support was needed most. Over time, those moments add up. And once trust begins to erode, it rarely returns in the same way. Consistency is one of the clearest indicators of sincerity. A real relationship does not waver based on convenience. It does not exist only when there is something to be gained or disappear when circumstances change. Genuine connections remain steady, offering support without condition. There is no need to question whether someone is truly present, because their actions make it obvious. A relationship that fluctuates based on external circumstances often reveals its true nature over time. Some people are present only when they need something, their attention appearing and disappearing based on what they stand to gain. This becomes clear when someone who rarely checks in suddenly becomes engaged when they need a favor, an introduction, or a resource. When their interest is tied to their own benefit rather than genuine care, the relationship is not built on mutual appreciation. True connection does not operate on conditions. It does not require one person to constantly prove their worth in order to be valued. A real friend or partner does not show up only when life is difficult or disappear when things are going well. They do not treat a relationship like a transaction, offering attention only in exchange for something in return. Instead, they remain steady, offering presence not because they have to, but because they genuinely want to. Energy speaks louder than words. Some people uplift, offering a presence that feels effortless and natural. Others leave behind a sense of unease, a quiet exhaustion that lingers long after they are gone. These feelings are not random, they are signals. The body and mind recognize when a dynamic is draining even before the conscious mind fully processes why. When a relationship constantly feels heavy, when interactions leave someone feeling uncertain or emotionally depleted, it is often because something in that connection is not right. It is easy to ignore these signals, to explain away discomfort as overthinking or sensitivity. But the truth is, people's energy does not lie. The way someone makes another feel over time is a direct reflection of their true nature. A connection that consistently leaves one feeling small, anxious, or on edge is not one built on mutual respect. When someone's presence creates more stress than peace, it is worth questioning whether that relationship is truly meant to continue. People are not obligated to hold on to relationships that diminish them. Walking away from what no longer serves is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-respect. No one should have to convince someone else to treat them with care. No one should feel guilty for prioritizing their own well-being. It is not wrong to want relationships that feel safe, supportive, and genuine. It is not asking for too much to expect consistency, honesty, and basic kindness. But letting go is not always easy. There is often guilt attached to stepping away from relationships that have existed for years, even when they are no longer healthy. There is hesitation in choosing oneself, in acknowledging that some connections were never built on genuine care, but rather on habit, obligation, or unbalanced effort. However, every decision made in favor of peace is a step toward a more fulfilling life. The strongest connections are those that allow people to be their truest selves. There is no pressure to shrink, no fear of being misunderstood, no exhausting attempts to prove worth. These relationships do not require constant explanation because both people simply understand. There is an ease in knowing that respect is mutual, trust is unwavering, and presence is not conditional. Choosing the right people is an act of self-care. It is a decision to surround oneself with those who uplift rather than drain, who encourage rather than criticize, who support rather than undermine. It is about recognizing that the relationships in life shape not only emotions, but also perspectives, confidence, and overall well-being. In the end, the relationships people choose to keep shape their lives in ways they may not even realize. Every interaction leaves an imprint, influencing thoughts, emotions, and even self-perception. Choosing wisely is not just about avoiding hurt. It is about creating an environment where growth, peace, and genuine connection can thrive. Because the right people, the ones who truly value and respect, will never need to be convinced. They will simply be there, showing through their actions that they are meant to stay. Life is too short to spend energy on relationships that create more pain than joy. It is too precious to waste on connections that require constant doubt, hesitation, or explanation. The right people do not leave others questioning their worth. They do not make them feel small, unseen, or unheard. Instead, they remind them through their actions, their presence, and their unwavering support that they matter. And that is the kind of connection worth holding on to. True connection should uplift and inspire growth. If a relationship constantly drains you or makes you question your worth, it's time to reevaluate. What do you think? Have you ever experienced this? Let me know in the comments. And if this resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on energy, mindset, and personal growth.